Hello. Let's check it. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I've forgotten how to do it. I smoked some CBD. My stomach was killing me. My head was, you know, I don't have a condition or anything. I'm not like ill or anything. Well, I've been ill for the last 2 weeks, but I don't have like anything going on there. You know, yeah. So because like they say that like it's good for the nausea when you're going through chemo. So I thought, and like Denise is one of my neighbours, and she said like it's good for pain. Well, she was talking about marijuana actually, not CBD, but I don't know. I guess I've read a few things on CBD. I mean, I'm starting to get an achy arm. Goodness. So, so what? So I'm so confused. I mean, I think I don't know. I'm asking myself what the Mercury retrograde is all about this time, I mean, like, it's weird because when I learned about Mercury retrograde about a year or two ago, right? This was Victorado. Well, I don't know. Was it? I think it was Victorado. Maybe some other places as well. Maybe. And we're saying like we're entering the Mercury retrograde, and I was like, okay, fine. I didn't know what it was going to be, but like, it weren't until we actually came out of the retrograde that I realised how. And this is just for that retrograde. The others didn't affect me the same way, but like, it was it was emotionally painful, and yeah, it's just planets moving around, and it's like the Mercury retrograde was like emotionally painful for me all the way through. It was like I don't want to go into all that, to be honest. It's just this one. To be honest, I don't really want to go there. Yeah. So what was I saying? Something like I don't know. I don't. I need to have a think. No, I don't need to have a think. It's the usual thing, really, of like, I don't know. I mean, Tumblr has it so good, because it just does. It just does. I can't think of any single post that explains it, because it's more of like I do search gay on Tumblr. I do. Well, I search my own thing, to be honest. I pick the girls that resonate with me, really hard. And that, I don't know. I thought this was over, I thought it was over. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been through like a cycle of like recovery. And the vibe that I'm feeling right now is very much a Mercury retrograde feeling. And it's probably... Sorry, you can't see me, I realise that. It's probably because there's been like an eclipse and a full moon or something. I don't know. I think it's a full moon and an eclipse. And then a retrograde straight the way after, it's like... it's really stupid, to be honest. I don't know if stupid's the right word, but it's like holding that, where am I in this journey? Where am I? Am I near the finish line? Am I going to get somewhere? Where am I exactly? Where do I stand? Trying to measure how far along I am in this recovery. In like a very sort of retrograde-y kind of way, in the way of like that first retrograde that affected me so strongly. I don't know. I'm wondering what I need to know what the time is, actually. I'm wondering what I'll come up with. What am I thinking? What am I trying to get at, What am I trying to get at? Well, it's like the fluctuations, the highs and lows. But it's not really... I don't know. It's not really a high and a low in the sense of like a super high and a super low, That's how it used to be years ago, a couple of years ago, when I was in this awakening. And anybody who's started on their awakening and is experiencing, real high highs, real low lows, and it just goes up and down, up and down, up and down, will relate to what I'm saying. When I say that, but that's not where I am. I'm not in like... To be honest, I feel insane. And I wonder why that is. Is it computers? Is it the internet? You know, what is it? I mean, it could, you know, I go on Tumblr, yeah, and there's this thing about these immigration camps. They're like, um, I think what they called them, they shouldn't have called them that. They said they were similar to what the Jews were in, but like it's not. You know, I think it's just not right to compare the two like that. You know, I mean, I get where they're coming from. Because like people were trying to donate stuff to the refugees, and there was people, they were saying we do not accept donations. You know, and it's kind of like, I don't get. You know, maybe it's Tumblr. You know, I mean, there's this stuff that I come across. You know, and it's, how do I put this? Because I'd say that it's like bullshit, but not bullshit. Bullshit in the way of like Tumblr ain't bullshit. It's like whoever is treating these people like that is like just mad. You know, just nuts. You know, giving people a bit of running water and a bit of soap and a bit of toothpaste, you know. I you know, maybe the pain that I feel is like, because, you know how I say like maybe it's computers, maybe it's the internet. Well, maybe it kind of is. Maybe it's, I really don't know. You know, I wonder if anybody can relate. You know, I mean, the blogs I follow, yeah, they're literally all about recovery. Literally. And, you know, that's how it feels anyway. You know, I guess it's subjective, really. I guess it's subjective. But it seems like, I mean, it's, I don't know. What I do know, I mean, the awakening, right? That's what everyone's going through. You know, when they say recovery, what I call it is the awakening, which is recovery, which is, you know, 20 years ago, I was in a very dark place. You could call it depression, or I don't know. But I was like it for about 20 years, you know, to be honest. Like it for about 20 years in like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel the same now as I did then. You know, it's just, I might as well just spit it out, to be honest. What is it that, oh, okay. Don't worry. I see what's going on there. Let's get out of the, yeah, I mean, you all know what I'm talking about, right? My story is like I say, my story is that, you know, I got to my teenage years, yeah. And I reckon this is probably happening to everyone who's on the path of awakening anyway. You know, maybe it is like that refugee stuff, you know. We get to a certain age and we start learning about the world. we start seeing just things come into our awareness that's really unfair, and we struggle. And that's what happened to me as a teenager. I got treated badly. I got fired, and it ruined my life. I had autism, and I don't. I was going to say I don't care, but I do care. Well, kind of. I had autism. It's the transition that I've been through. Autism is more, for me, the way I explain it to myself, whether this is right or wrong. I mean, it is right that I had autism and now I don't have it. That is right. But the way I explain that to myself is that it's about, it gets complicated. It's about male and female. Like, the male part of me, just me. I'm not saying like in my family it runs down the male side and not the female side. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying in me, if you just take me only, right? Me, right? The autism ran down the male side of me. So when I became female, that's how I explain it to myself anyway, because I need to understand. I don't know. I just feel like I can't just say, oh, I used to be autistic. I don't know. There needs to be like a reason or something. Yeah, I realise you can't see. I realise that, okay? But I've got to plug this thing in. Don't worry, I'm going back in there. Anyway, that's really not got any... I don't know... I don't know where that came from, to be honest, because I don't see how that's relevant to what I'm saying. Yes, right, because I had autism, I was taken advantage of by my employer, and they fired me, and that was them taking advantage of me too. And it ruined my life. I mean, and this is what's wrong with the world. I'm not comparing myself to, what I was talking about before. I'm not comparing myself to that. But in a way I am, because what I'm saying is it's everywhere. This darkness, this unfairness, this wrongness, it's everywhere. It is. And when I was in my teenage years, my late teenage years, I guess it was just overwhelming. And I just couldn't cope. Couldn't cope with the darkness in the world. And I think that's where it's at, really, for most people. I'm 44. But I think, for an 18-year-old nowadays, I think it's the same sort of thing, It's just like... It's what it is. It's the same thing. It's extremely damaging to a person, you know what I mean? Extremely damaging. And that's why everyone on Tumblr, well, the blogs I follow anyway, and I follow a lot of blogs. I just surf from like blog to blog to blog to blog to blog to blog. I'm just constantly following, and I scroll down. When I get bored, I just go back and find another one and follow that one. I just follow. And like, I've followed so many, and like, I've really got some experience of like what my Tumblr is like, and it's all people who are on some kind of recovery, and it's spiritual. It definitely is spiritual, I mean, I went through like a time of like, and even now, there'll always be like sort, you know the saying, always be kind. It's always coming up on Tumblr, you know, and things like that. And like it's spiritual, and it's like, I don't know. Anyway, all of that is around sort of. Anyway, I'm gonna end this. No, I'm not. I don't know. So like, yeah, I guess people can relate to like recovery has its ups and downs, you know. I mean, one minute I feel like, you know, I'm doing this. This came from. I mean, to be real, yeah. Any kind of very euphoric sort of high, you know, which I experienced. I was at my mum's, yeah, and I was playing bingo, and this is 2 weeks in a row, and I just felt so together. You know, I felt so together, so real, like, you know, I felt loved. I just felt loved. Literally for the first time in I don't know how long. I mean, I got into drugs. I felt this way before, but it's a year or two ago because I got into drugs. And that probably explains why I'm feeling feelings that I had a long time ago. You know, anyways, I am going to end this video here, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.